Now, Andrew and I just had a yes, you don't have to raise your hand. You can just yell it out. Conversation, right? Now, was Andrew reading off of a piece of paper for our conversation? No, he wasn't, was he? We were just going back and forth. Now, did you know that I was going to talk with you today, Andrew? No. I mean, you had no idea I was going to talk directly to you, probably, right? Or that we would have this conversation. So you had to think off the top of your head what it was that you were going to say, right? You weren't reading it off of a piece of paper. Nobody told you what to say, right? Now, it's very important because that's what improvisation is anywhere. But now let's get back to what we were saying about if improvisation is just out of the clear blue sky or if it's something that you already know. What was Andrew using and I using in order to have that conversation? Yes, what?
Your head and your mouth.
Right, but what were the things that were coming out of his mouth? Words, right. And then we put the words together to form paragraphs and sentences and stuff like that, right? Now, I made up those words, right? Did I make up those words? I made up the word how and hello and how are you? Who made up the word how are you? Or those words? Who knows, right? Do you know who made it up? Because I'd like to know if you know. Right? So, we don't know who made up those words. Those words have been around for a long, long time, okay? But what we're doing is we're taking those words and on the spot, we're coming up with sentences and having a conversation. Now, that's important because improvisation is not this. It's not like you sit down and then it's like, okay, I'm ready. And then you just go all over the place. No, improvisation is that you've practiced things like words, okay? And we'll talk about that a little bit later. You practice things at your instrument. You practice them a lot, okay, to get good at it. But then you take these ideas and you put them together. So you might know, oh, I could do, oh, okay, I know that bass line, and then I know like some little, I know a little idea there, these scales and stuff, and I could start putting them together. Right? The point is that you're not going to make up all this stuff out of the clear blue sky. You're going to learn it piece by piece, and it's what we call our vocabulary, okay? And our vocabulary, tell me if you can't read my writing. Do you all have to do vocabulary in school? No. Yes, and sentence structure and nouns and verbs and all that, right? But why do you think you have to do that? What's your name here? Carter. I have to like get right on top of you. Like my eyes are so bad I can't see. So Carter, do you think it's important to do vocabulary?
Yeah.
Because if you didn't, would we be able to have this conversation right now? No, you'd be like, blah, blah, ah, right? Okay? So vocabulary is very important, and vocabulary at the piano, or whatever instrument you play, is very important as well. Okay? So, improvisation is not making stuff up out of the clear blue sky. Okay? Improvisation is taking what it is that you know, no matter what it is, rhythms, just feelings, like, oh, I feel sad, and I'm going to translate that into the piano. Scales, fingerings, everything, chords, all right? And taking all this stuff and at that particular moment, coming up with something, okay? So you're not creating it out of the clear blue sky. You're taking everything that you know and bringing it all together at that one moment to create music or add on to somebody else's music. Let's do a little game here. Give me like a movie scene. Okay, so for instance, a man on a horse on a dark night going through a field. That would be a scene. You give me a scene. Yes.
In Austin Powers, when number 2 says, "Stop the evil, we can make truly the best in the stop."
Okay, so if I'm going to like translate some music to that, now bear in mind that we're on the piano, so that might not be the most pianistic thing. But if I'm going to translate that into music, let's think about some of the ideas of that. One, is it serious or is it funny? It's funny, but it kind of has this serious undertone to it, right? It's like trying to be serious, but it's not really serious. Okay? So we might do something that might be in, we say major or minor. Maybe a minor, okay? Like, but it might be like something like, let's see. So Dr. Evil, what did you say again? Dr. Evil. Oh. That's good. You've been practicing that. So if we were going to take like music for that particular moment right there, it might be like, you know, or like, you know, and then, but you might also get like, do something like funny with it as well. Okay, that would be like the perfect when we can make millions, and right? Okay, so we can take. When I'm thinking of that, I'm thinking, okay, I need to think of a piece of music that would go with that, you know, that whole thing. And I don't want to make it so serious that it's like, you know, because it's not like, you know, Jurassic Park and the dinosaurs are about to chomp on somebody. It's kind of funny. It's like, and that chord, I know, is kind of like a soap opera type chord, so it's serious, but it's not too serious. Okay? So these are things that I know because I've played a lot, all right? And I know that that sound is going to work with that particular thing, okay? So let's start working on improvising as a group. Now, typically when you're playing in a jazz trio setting, you have piano, bass, and drums. Okay? That's what we're going to do today. We're going to break up into piano, bass, and drums. You guys are going to be the piano player. You guys are going to be the bass players. And you guys are going to be the drums. Okay? Now, we're going to all